All right, folks, welcome back. Many thanks for your patience. So we'll go to our next story. Now, make no mistake about it, that any burning issue in Nigeria is bound to generate divergent opinion. The recent face-off between the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, and a naval officer, Lieutenant Ahmed Yerima, fits that narrative. In another reaction to the saga, a former presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Dumebi Kachikwu, has expressed concern that confrontation reflects a deeper national intolerance. So speaking at Abuja, Kachikwu said the controversy exposed a growing tendency to justify illegality once the target is a disliked public figure like Wike. He lashed out at those vilifying Wike and urged President Bola Tinubu to intervene. Let's hear from him first of all.
Are there different laws for different sets of Nigerians in Nigeria? Why does the minister have to go through the chief of defense staff on an issue concerning a civilian like you and I, and even if it's a military person? The issue has to do with land under the domicile of the Minister of FCT. Like I said, they came to my land on Sunday, and security people refused to open the gate for them because on Sunday, why are you coming here? And because of that, they came on Tuesday to put stop work notice. And the minister came himself. I was not here. But knowing what had been going on in FCT, I simply forwarded all my titles, every document I had concerning this, and simply got a response that my people gave me wrong information. End of matter. Now, this matter has been going on for some time, to my understanding. To my understanding, officials of FCT and Development Control went there and were stopped from doing their legitimate duties. Now, if you were the one in question, and they came to your place, and you stopped them, within an hour, probably bulldozers will be there, and they will demolish your property, they do all sorts of things within their capacity. They will do that because you are a bloody civilian. Not so. Why should there be a different set of laws for us? I was horrified when I was hearing that was saying he had text message exchanges with the officer. And I said to myself, so we are different animals in this country. That's what it means. And what worries me is that Nigerians cannot see the fact that they are saying to them that they are big men and they are small men and that different laws apply to us all. You can't all see this. That's my worry. That is about the person of Wike himself as against the fact that your laws, your constitution have been trampled upon. In this case, the facts available to us, the land is a park and recreation land, no valid document, no valid approval. Now, a person in the capacity of a former service chief, you could simply have reached out to the minister, like your advisor should reach out to the minister and said, Ogao, this is my land. I was misled, just like Mr. Wike said yesterday. How can you help me with this? And they see how they can do that. But how do you use the force of law? And you say to me, a decommissioned officer, or an officer no longer under commission, because commission is the acting on the orders of the president of Nigeria. As a retired general, you no longer have that commission. How do you, an officer who has that commission, say that you took your orders from someone who has retired, and you see the chief security officer of FCT in front of you? You can say an officer wearing a uniform, because we have many people wearing fake uniforms today. You can say you cannot even recognize him to be an officer. But in this case, you are seeing the minister himself that you know is the minister. And you say you don't recognize him, you cannot take orders from him. I know in FCT you have State Security Council, where you have an army commandant, where you have the DSS, state commander of DSS, you have the police commissioner and all those things. So they have that meeting because they recognize Wike as the chief security officer of FCT. How do you say you see him and he went there as a good boss because his workers' rights have been trampled upon? He said that they can't give you access. They are doing their legitimate duties. Some people will not go there. And say, okay, I'm talking to the chief of defense staff. But why talking to the chief of defense staff? Will you talk to the chief of defense staff when it concerns you, when it concerns any other person? It's about laws. So those of us who are commoners, common men, the law is what equates all of us in this country called Nigeria. And we have to accept a situation where the law is trampled upon. That's what worries me. That's what sickens me when I see the social media reaction. Wike is wicked. It's not about Wike. Wike can be termed a bully. He can say Wike is garrulous, whatever you want to say about Wike. But Wike is acting in the capacity of the Minister of FCT. When he stands representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's what's at stake here. Now, ask a valid question. If it was another minister, would the reaction have been the same? 2 days before this, the media, you all reported that in Anambra State, soldiers shot policemen coming from election duties. Where is this moral indignation from Nigerians? The same Minister of Defense who spoke to criticize his colleague, where is his statement? I don't know Nigerian public officials could react so fast to an issue. They are all releasing statements. Because everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon of what is seemingly popular. Is everything seemingly popular? Is it right? My worry is that because we are all sanctioning an illegality, it's my property can come in tomorrow. And the general can take over my property. And I don't have recourse to law because you tell them not to obey court orders. They can go to anybody and you are telling me I need to speak to Minister of Defense, I need to speak to Chief of Defense Staff to access my land. That's absolutely wrong.
All right, folks, you just heard Kachikwu, a former presidential candidate of the ADC. Biko, how do you weigh in here?
Yes, this is a running story.
Yeah.
We all agree that Wike messed up the way he spoke. No Nigerian citizen should be spoken to like that by any government official.
Okay, yeah.
You have no reason to diminish a Nigerian citizen.
Intemperate language is not the way to go.
You can't use intemperate language against a Nigerian citizen.
Yeah.
You must know that occupying your office comes with a high sense of responsibility.
That's it.
There are things that you cannot say, there are things that you cannot do. Okay. That's the whole essence of Kachikwu's intervention.
Yeah.
It's not to say that Wike was not wrong in the way he spoke to that young man. The point that he's trying to make is that Wike, in his capacity as FCT minister and in adherence to the Constitution,
yeah,
is permitted to oversight land matters in the Federal Capital Territory. It's like a governor.
It's like a governor, yeah.
Governors have overriding powers on land. The land...
After all, they issue C of O's.
Yes, the land is not the federal government that owns the land. It is governors that own the land. Now, looking at this matter, a former chief of naval staff bought a piece of land from a certain company called Santos.
Mm-hmm.
Santos bought that piece of land,
of somebody.
got approval for it to be used as parks and recreation.
Yeah, recreation center, yeah.
Parks and recreation. A lot of those buffers you see by the side of the road in some parts of Abuja, you won't see residential buildings.
Mm-hmm.
What you see is this greenery all over. It's part of efforts being made to make the city look beautiful and conform to its original master plan.
That's it. That's it.
The master plan of Abuja has been so violently violated over the years. When you go to the UK, you see those houses, they look alike. Everything is just kind of aligned. It is the result of planning.
A straight line, yeah.
It's a result of planning. It didn't just materialize like that.
That's it.
If my own friend was telling me that in the area where he lives, somewhere in the central area, it's not permitted to build any house exceeding 3 bedrooms. And if you have, in that same Abuja, and even the boys' quarters, in boys' quarters, if you are having a boys' quarters, it must not be more than 2 rooms. And the height,
built to set specification.
and its height must not exceed the height of the main building.
Okay.
There's a reason why these things are done. Now, if somebody bought a piece of land meant to be for recreation, what was it called? Parks and recreation.
That's it.
He then decides that, oh, why don't they allow me to start building houses here? And he applies, and the application got turned down.
Okay.
By the former minister.
Yeah.
At that point, was it right for him to begin to parcel the land and sell the land to other people? Because the people that you sold the land to would then want to put up structures there. They want to build houses there, you know. This is what happened. And it makes no sense. Whether we know that, yes, there's corruption in land matters in Abuja, and some of the FCTA officials are involved.
Yeah.
But the people mandated to give approvals for building and all that are the people working in the FCDA. Soldiers have no say in that matter. And if you are a soldier, you want to buy land, you want to develop land, you must conform to the what's it called?
The requirement.
To the approval that you are given.
Yeah.
So if they want to see your plan, they must approve your plan. Look at where we are now, TVC. This building, we cannot go beyond 4 floors in this place. Why? The soil texture and other things. Whereas in this same Eco-Atlantic, the tallest building in our country stands.
Okay.
But where we are, soil texture may vary from even where you are. The soil texture may be different to this one here, to where I'm sitting.
From meter to meter.
Yes, it varies.
Oh, yeah.
So now they have to be sure that, okay, where you are, you can actually build a high-rise building. Nobody will simply leave you alone. If you send in a letter of intent is not approval. That is the point that the officials are making. And no soldier has the right to stop the FCDA officials from doing their work.
After all, BK, we all know, even Mayor knows, that every uniformed officer is subordinated to the constitution of the country.
That is the point, and that is the point that we are trying to educate some ignorant Nigerians. Because they keep saying, the military is obeyed before command. That is arrant nonsense. There are directives
the land matter we are talking about is not a military matter.
No. There are orders that you can, and the Supreme Court has even settled this matter. There are orders that you cannot make as a military man. Because whatever order you are making is subordinate to the Constitution.
That's it.
And the military, in a democratic setting, the military must conform to democratic order.
Yeah.
You can't say this is not a military regime where, for example, you say, no, don't move in that direction. We may hate Wike as a person. Wike may make himself difficult to like. But the reality is that nobody has the right to stop officials of development control from doing their work. Otherwise, we tell ourselves, okay, let's build Abuja the way you like.
Okay.
We go to other countries, we see order, even in the way they are building. Go to South Africa. Go to some of their cities. You see how beautiful their cities are.
Yeah.
Is it such a bad thing for us to conform with the rules and regulations in our country?
And for that matter, is it wrong to plant cities in my country, your country?
Yeah.
Quickly, Mayor.
Okay, let me add my voice to it.
Yeah.
Because of the way Minister Wike conducted himself, it made us to forget the issue at stake. Like he said, the issue at stake is that a company applied for land in Abuja for parks and recreation.
Got
a lot of companies,
allocated,
a lot of companies, a lot of individuals, especially companies, apply to government that they want to use land for agricultural purposes or for recreational purposes. And because of that, because it fits into the master plan of that particular place, you are allocated that land based on the fact that you said you wanted to add the recreation to the master plan. After you were now allocated land to do parks and recreation, you now decided to map out those lands and sell to individuals.
Okay.
That is illegal because you don't have approval to so do. And then when you even apply that you want to turn this thing to residential areas, it was refused. It was rejected.
Yeah.
But you went ahead to
And
now sell to ignorant people. So if the former chief of staff bought a land that does not have approval for what he was supposed to do, ab initio, he bought an illegal land, and the act is illegal.
Otherwise, he was
whether you're a chief of naval, whether you're a former chief of naval staff or not, you unfortunately you are allowed a swindler to sell something to you.
That's it.
That is not right. So if that is discovered, instead of you to say because I was a former chief of naval staff and then you posted people to stop people there, that is not right.
Okay.
Yes, the Wike comported himself was not right, but that is not the issue. The issue is that the land there that the chief of naval staff owned and asked people to guide for him to allow a whole naval officer with lieutenant officer to do megad work there. It is not right.
There was something that I read today. Somebody posted. He said, "Are you saying that when people are posted to guide policemen?" To guide the former IGs and others is illegal. I said, look at this one. This study was not guiding that person does not live there. He was guiding a piece of land, not the former chief of naval staff.
That was acquired illegally.
Yes.
That is the core. That land was acquired illegally. And what
ideally you can, just a Wike said he could have called me to say, oh, I have this problem. Maybe, and that way they can give him a land somewhere, and that was why Wike was mentioning Obasanjo, Danjuma, and other people, because these things happen. So they can give him a piece of land somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
but it's not fair for you to say that because I was a former chief of naval staff, if I buy a land, even if it is not supposed to be for what it's supposed to be, nobody should say anything about it. That cannot be right.
Mayor, the police cooperative, they had 11 of their buildings demolished in Abuja.
Yeah.
Why? Because they built under high tension power lines, and they said no, we can't allow this, and they pulled it down. The country did not go to flames as a result of that.
Okay, gentlemen, we must go. We have made a point, except that I share the sentiment when you talked about language. Language is key. Minister Wike could have done
the way
this thing.
language. I agree with that.